All right, Shalom family. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all glory, and all honor to the Most High God, whose name is Yahawah. Of course, I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, who the world annually called Jesus Christ. It's your brother Ahrayahla here, Sakari, Salakia, not Sakari. House of Bread, Salakia, right? House of Bread. And yeah, we're about to dive into this topic. I don't know what is going on with my joint right here. Give me a second. There we go. All praise to the Most High. So yeah, Shalom family, again. Make sure you guys like and share the video. Like and share the video. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new to the channel. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Shalom to the family. All right. But you see the topic today. We're going into the law of fringes, right? So let me just throw that up there again, right? So we're going into the truth and power of fringes. You've been lied to. All right. So, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to go into this presentation, right? I'll put together, you know, slides for all of the scriptures that we have that we're going to go over and just dive into the Hebrew language in the Torah. So we can see that there's a difference between the two types of fringes, right? There's two different commandments, two different jots and tittles that we are required to keep. Right. So what we'll do is we'll go through all of that at first. And then what I'll do is I will go into a quick little video. It was about a 10-minute long video that I recorded just showing people how you can easily add fringes to your clothing and whatnot. And then what we'll do is we'll go into the Rogerian side of things, right? We'll look at some of the argumentation that people use to say that, oh, you can wear either or, right? So yeah, let's see. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All right. So yeah, let's dive into it, family. So here we are, right? I want to make sure that you guys can see the screen quite well. All right, we're going to dive into this really quickly. All right. Actually, before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the lesson, I forgot. Definitely got to do some plugs. Here. So again, family, make sure you guys. Let me just go ahead and present my screen. All right. So again, make sure you guys tap in with the System Masala's GoFundMe. All right, again, tap in with the System Masala's GoFundMe. The link should be in the description of the video. All right, link should be in the description of the video. All right, definitely tap in here. You know, alms cover a multitude of sins. Make sure that you guys, all right, take advantage of this sale. Right, it ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. Right, use code PASAK14 for 14% off your HIB order at hibofficialzion.com. The link should also be in the description. Putting a fresh link here in the chat. All right. In addition to that, all right, you know, today's lesson is sponsored by yours truly. All right. And you know, I was working today. Brother put in a bulk order of tassels. All right. As we're going to dive into the in the presentation, right? It's the Hebrew word gdollium, right? Gdollium is the word, right? So we got the bust down tassels or gdollium by yours truly, right? Numbers 15 and 38, those are zitz, all right, or zitz. Deuteronomy 22 and 12 are gdollium. There is a difference. And we're going to dive into the difference. Now, I did a lesson similar to this years ago, right? Probably about 4, 5, probably about like 3-4 years ago, right? And I was told to take down the video, You want to know why? Because it was so-called causing confusion, right? Brothers were watching the video, watching the breakdown, right? Seeing how there's two different types of fringes. And guess what? We're required to keep the laws of God. And sin is the transgression of the law, right? And unknown, please just do not come to this channel to teach, right? This is my platform where I'm teaching here from the House of Bread. Do not come to my chat, to my channel, and try to teach anything. Thank you very much, right? So yeah, I was told to take the video down because it was quote unquote causing confusion, right? Now the scriptures say that the Most High God is not the author of confusion, right? He is indeed the author of the law. He's the one who gave the law. So there's no confusion, right? The confusion comes from man, right? From men, not truly understanding the truth of what's going on, right? And the law is the truth, right? If you guys have watched the eternal life video, right, we go into how the law is our life, the law is truth, the law is our righteousness, all this stuff. And right, this is how we're going to be able to inherit the kingdom and receive eternal life, is by us coming back and keeping the commandments, right? Not just living by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. You see right here down here on the visual, right, on the layout, right, we got called thawadath laYAHAWAH basham Yahawashi. That means all praise to Yahawah in the name of Yahawashi. And at the bottom here is our motto here at the House of Bread: man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. All right. So yeah, sponsored here by Gdollium Ahrayahla, right? Get your bust down tassels from yours truly, right? You know what I mean? I got these little red and black joints on today. All praise to the Most High to match. You know what I mean? This EDK shirt. Well, you may ask, well, where can I get this EDK shirt, right? And if you don't know what EDK stands for, all right, Edomite, you can put it. You can figure it out, right? So you can get this at Perpetual War. So follow us at Perpetual War Apparel on Instagram. All right. Just corrected our domain. So the domain is not hasn't been updated just yet. Right. The domain should be perpetualwar.shop. But if you just click on the link here in our Instagram, it'll take you right to our website. You can get you your EDK oversized heavyweight t-shirt, right? We got the Fear of Yahawah t-shirts, the Israelite Supremacist crew neck, right? Israelite Supremacist snapback, Mawap ball t-shirts. We got the Hebrew department, Isaiah 47 sitting in the dust joints, right? And we got some more stuff coming very, very soon, right? So we're on a couple of samples, and Lord willing, we'll have those available on the site ASAP, right? So just tap in with us here, family. So yeah, what you do is you go to Perpetual War Apparel on Instagram, right? Follow the link in the bio. It'll take you right to the site for the time being. All right, again, make sure you tap in with me here at Gdollium Ahrayahla. Get you the finest bust down tassels. Yeah, I was working on an order. Brother ordered 11 pairs, not 11 sets. So I got maybe I'm about halfway done. So all praise to the Most High. But without further ado, right, let's dive into the reason why we're here, right? This lesson, right? The truth and power of fringes. You've been lied to. You've been taught that you can wear either or. So basically, you can pick and choose. Let that sink in, right? You have been taught that you can pick and choose, right? Because people make the argument that, oh, Deuteronomy is the second law. Deuteronomy means second law. Again, we're going to get into the Rogerian side of things, right? We're going to look at the arguments that people use, all right, to come up with this ridiculous notion, right? And we're going to dispel that, right? Just with clear logic, right? So let's dive in, right? So first and foremost, let's start off with Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Right? Now, the law is our light. Right? The law is the word of God. Right? the testimony would be the prophets, and the prophets, they all testify against Israel. Why? Because we were not keeping the law, right? So again, if they come and they say, hey, you don't have to do X, Y, Z, or you can do this, that, and the third, right? If they're not speaking, thus saith the Lord, via the law or via the prophets, listen, there's no light in them, right? So again, you have been told of old by some baser sorts, that you can pick and choose. You can wear either or, right? And we're going to demonstrate how that is incorrect, right? So Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 18. Let me just make this a little larger. All right, there we go. So it says, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee. So this is the Most High God speaking to Moses, right? And it says, I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken or not listen unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of them. So let me get some answers in the chat. Who is this prophet? Who is this? Who is the Bible talking about, right? Who is this prophet where God's going to put his words into his mouth and everything that he speaks is thus saith Yahweh? There you go, Sister Nazayar. YAHAWAH. YAHAWAH is this prophet, right? So all the words that he spoke, they were Yahweh's words, and Yahweh put those words into his mouth. YAHAWAH is the word of God, the word made flesh, right? So just laying out, the foundation, right? Again, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there's no light in them, right? Again, this prophet, Hamashiach Yahawashi, our King, our Savior, the person who died for us, right? We're going to look at his words, okay? And his words are not his own words. His words are Yahweh's words. So let's read on. So again, here's our model here at the house of bread. But he answered and said, Matthew 4:4, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Every word. Okay? That's what we must live by, right? Listen, people live their life for literal food, literal bread. People live their lives, all right, for the proverbial bread, right? That munyon, that chicken, that guap, right? Listen, our life is more than just having food and having money to buy things. We must live by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Shout out to my brothers of the Messiah. Salute to y'all, brothers, man. All praise to the Most High. Right? Again, if you guys didn't, a lot of you guys watched my live yesterday, right? Had to slide real quick. You know what I mean? And a lot of people were upset with me. A lot of people are really, really upset with me, but hey, I love it, right? I absolutely love it. I like when people are mad at me, right? Especially in this world. Because when I know people are mad at me, I know that I'm doing the right thing, right? If people love me, right, and champion me, and give me the so-called benefit of the doubt and this, that, and third, how a lot of people have been doing in this community for the past few weeks, right? I know that, and guess what? I'm doing the right thing, and that the people that they're championing are doing the wrong thing, right? So, like I said, a lot of people are mad at me about what I did yesterday, with yesterday's live, and I call for brothers of the earlier today on Facebook, brothers from these newer bodies, shout out to my brothers in Masada, I mean, we got the brothers of the refiners out in Cali, we got the brothers Pure Hearts, we got the Zealots of Jezreel, we have Genesis, we have who else am I missing? Mara Shah, the brothers from Detroit, right? We have a plethora of brothers, who broke off from who, right? And even other organizations, other camps, shout out to the brothers of Anointed House of Saints, shout out to my brothers over at True Nation, right? Shout out to my brothers of Watchmen for Israel. It is time for us, right, the younger men to lead the nation into closer to righteousness and get us closer and closer to, you know, getting to that kingdom, man. Because the way things are going, and the way that these elders have led the nation, this is why the nation's in shambles. Listen, Sister Nazayar, all right, your husband is a lucky man. He has a smart wife. She says last night's live had near 300 plus live viewers compared to today. Quite telling. But hey, again, you got silly people, right, who, you know, will take a statement like that, right? Me pointing that out, right? Me pointing out that, you know, when I'm exposing niggas and it's something that's, you know, controversial or the so-called tea, right? And again, I haven't spilled no tea. I've literally just presented evidence and facts over the past, you know, couple months. Boom, views out the wazoo, right? But now it's pure edification. The numbers are not the same, but hey, that's a beautiful thing, right? We got 1/3 of the people that we had yesterday. We have 1/3 of the people watching live today for edification's sake compared to yesterday. Give yourselves a round of applause, all right? So, you know, let's dive back into the topic, right? So again, Matthew 4:4, this is our model here at the house of bread. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God, right? So now, let's look at what Yahawashi also said, right? Here in Matthew, the 5th chapter. It says, think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. All right. All has clearly not been fulfilled. Okay. So guess what that means, guys? There has not been a single jot or tittle that has passed from the law, meaning we are required to adhere to it, to keep it, to do it, right? Verse 19, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. No, sir. No, thank you. I do not want to be called least in the kingdom. Yahawashi, the word of Yahawah, the word of God, he says if you break one of the least commandments and you teach men to do so, you're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. So let me get a 1 in the chat if you would like to enter into the kingdom of heaven. 1's in the chat if you would like to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Oh, praise to the Most High, right? So it looks like y'all want to enter into the kingdom of heaven. In order for that to happen, your righteousness must exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, right? So let's go. Let me make sure that, here we go. So again, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Every word. So now, let's define what sin is, right? Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. Now, we're going to unpack this in a way that I have never unpacked it before, right? And I'm going to be doing a lesson on the difference between sin, transgression, and iniquity, right? And we're going to dive into the etymology. We're going to dive into what the word means in the Hebrew. But of course, we're going to also look at the English as well to really demonstrate the difference between sin, transgression, and iniquity. There's really not a difference between sin and transgression, because sin is the transgression of the law. Iniquity is a more severe form of sin, right? So let's dive in, right? What is transgression? Because sin is the transgression of the law, right? So we have the word transgression in the English, right? It's from the late 14th century. Transgression, disobedience to God's law, sin. From the Old French transgression, particularly that relating to Adam and the fall, and directly from late Latin transgressionem, right? The nominative of transgressio, a transgression of the law in classical Latin, a going over, a going across. Noun of action from transgressus, past participle of transgredi, which means to step or across, right? Stay with me. I'm going to break it down a little further, right? So let's look in the law. What is the word transgression in the Hebrew, right? In the Torah, right? We have two words. We have pashai and we have pashai, whether it's as a noun or a verb, right? Now, again, just so you guys understand, these are what's called roots, right? If that verb is being used, it's gonna be inflected in a certain way, right? So it's in the text, it's going to be rendered depending on who's doing the action, right? It's kind of like if you ever took Spanish, if you ever took Spanish or French or anything like that, you will understand how to conjugate verbs, right? Similar situation in Hebrew, right? Hebrew elevation, no, I will not be, right? Go teach on your own platform. Thank you very much. Let's move on, right? So the Hebrew word pashai, right? H6586, a verb, right? Let's look at the translation count. It's used 41 times, right? And it's defined or translated as transgress, transgression, rebelled, revolt, offend, transgression, trespassed, right? Right. So now let's look at the actual definition, right? Pashai. It says a primitive root identical with through the idea of expansion to break away from just authority, i.e., trespass, apostatize, quarrel, offend, rebel, revolt, transgression. Okay. Right now, look at the root right here. It's Strong's 6585. Right. We'll dive into that in a bit. Right. So now we're looking at pashai as a noun, Strong's H6588, right? And it's translated 93 times in the Bible as transgression, 84 times, trespass 5 times, sin 3 times, rebellion 1 time. All right. So now looking at the Strong's definition from H5686, a revolt, national, moral, religious, rebellion, sin, transgression, or trespass, right? So now let's look at this word, Strong's H6587, right? The word pashai as well. So there's 3 Strong's entry for the word pashai. It's the same word, but depending on how it's used, depending on its use case in terms of whether it's a verb or noun, and how it's translated, it's going to vary depending on the context, right? Very, very important, right? But let's look at what the Strong's definition for this word right here, right? This particular one. It's the same word pashai, right? And as you can see here, a stride or a step, right? So when we go back here to the English etymology of the word transgression, it goes back to the Latin word transgredi or transgressus, which means to step across. So when we look at the law is a line, right? It's a standard, right? It's a line. Okay. So when you transgress that line, when you step over or cross that line, right? What you now are in, you're in sin, right? You have transgressed the line or the law that the Most High God, laid out very, very perfectly, right? The do's and the don'ts, right? The thou shalt and the thou shalt nots, right? Transgression is you doing the opposite of what God told you to do. And God said, do X, Y, Z, and you don't do X, Y, Z, you're in sin. You transgress God's law. If God said do A, B, C, and you don't do A, B, C, you have transgressed God's law, right? If God said do A, B, C, and you just do A, B, you have transgressed God's law, right? You have not done what the Most High God has told you to do, right? So again, to understand what sin truly is and what transgression really is, it is you crossing the line that the Most High God put in the sand. You do that line in the sand, right? Here's the standard. Here's the do's and the don'ts. If you do the opposite, you have transgressed. You are in sin. So if God says wear Gadalyam, God damn it, wear Gadalyam. If God said wear Zit Zit, TzitTzit, God damn it, wear TzitTzit. Simple. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just do what God says, right? So now that we got that part here out of the way, right? Again, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. All right, everyone following along, everyone understand, put a 1 in the chat if you're following along, if that makes sense. 1 in the chat if that makes sense. If you need me to repeat something or go over something, put a 2 in the chat. All praise to the Most High. All praises, right? So let's move on. So again, as we can see here, right, we got the Zit Zit, right, with ribbon and blue, and we got some tassels right here, some gdollium, right? Let's dive further in, right? So let's look at Numbers. Let's look at the law. Numbers 15, verse 37 to 40. It says, and YAHAWAH spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Yahawaah, the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes. The word here in this particular verse is thawadath, or as people pronounce it, Zit Zit, right? Which is from our Yiddish small hat friends. It says that they make them thawadath, fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations. Now, there are people who teach that you only have to wear fringes on feast days. There are people that teach that. When I read here, it says throughout your generations. It doesn't specify feast days or not. Throughout your generations. Last time I checked, right? Yesterday I was a generation of an Israelite. The day prior was. Tomorrow I will be one as well. Today I'm one. So it says throughout your generations that you put upon the fringe, thawadath, of the borders a riband of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe. Thawadath is a word used, that ye may look upon it, right? Look upon it. You may look upon it and remember all the commandments of YAHAWAH and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring, that ye may remember to do all my commandments and be holy unto your God. The purpose of us having or being commanded to wear thawadath, Zit Zit, right? Again, these are not Zit Zits, right? It's because a nigga got caught picking up sticks on the Sabbath day, right? And he was put to death. And God said, you know what? Tell these niggas to put fringes on their clothing, right? Put a ribbon of blue, right? So that they remember, hey, don't go a-whoring, don't go after, don't follow your own mind. Just have your mind in alignment with the Most High God's mind, in alignment with his word, with his Torah, his laws, his statutes, and commandments. Right? So let's move on. Right? Again, we see the word Zit Zit. Right? See that word? And let's see what it is. It says feminine of H50 6731, a floral or wing-like projection, i.e. a forelock of hair, a tassel, fringe lock, right? But the true meaning is a wing-like projection, right? And when you look at the etymology, it goes back to a word that means wing, right? Essentially. So let's go on, right? Here we have the children of Israel being exiled out of their land. The name of the city was Ashtaroth, right? Ashtaroth was the name of the city. Give me 1 second, right? And this is from one of Tiglath-Pileser, I believe Tiglath-Pileser's reliefs, right? So here, this would have more than likely been the tribe of Manasseh being led out of captivity, led into captivity, led out of their town, which is called Ashtaroth. It had a different name as well, right? Give me a second, family. Let me find this. So the name of the city was give me 1 second. All right. All right. So yeah, it's a city. Yeah, it's a city in Bashan, east of the Jordan River, given to Manasseh. So this would have more than likely been the tribe of Manasseh, right, being led out of Ashtaroth, right, a city in modern day Jordan today. Okay, this was given to the tribe of Manasseh. Okay, let's read on. Right, so now we have another law, Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 12. It says, "Thou shalt make thee fringes, gdollium, upon the four quarters of thy vesture wherewith thou coverest thyself." That's in the KJV. Okay. The CSB says, "Make tassels or gdollium on the four corners of the outer garment you wear." The NLT says, "You must put four tassels, gdollium, on the hem of the cloak which you cover yourself on the front, back, and sides." Right? So that's the law, right? Deuteronomy 22 and 12. And again, let's look what YAHAWAH says, right? Of course, through YAHAWAH, but also this is YAHAWAH was quoting Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 3. "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." There's two different words. We have to live by that, right? Yes. Zit Zit, Tzitzit is the word for fringe in Numbers 15 and 38. Correct. Brother Judah Jew, shout out to you, King. Shalom. All right. So let's move on. Right. So here we have the word gadol, right? Right. It's a noun, H1434, right? It says from gadol, H1431, in the sense of twisting, right? If you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm pretty sure I just posted it, right? Yep. Yeah. I just posted it, right? On my story, right? Had my wife take a little reel of me, right? This is me twisting up some gdollium, right? Right, there's me twisting up some gdollium, right? That's one of the sets the brother had asked for. This is the tan with the silver. That joint go crazy. I was like, bro, you sure you want to go do tan in the silver? And I ain't gonna lie. Once I did them, I was like, yeah, this is kind of hard. I kind of rock with these, right? Wow, Sister Nazayar. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, there's a lot of camps that teach a lot of BS. Let's just be real, okay? But yeah, this is the word here for fringes, right? In Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 12, right? Here we look at the outline of biblical usage. Twisted threads, tassels, festoons. Tassels on clothes, festoons on capitals of columns, right? This the again, gdollium, thawadath, or as our ish friends would say, Gadalyam versus Zit Zit. Two different words, right? This is the outline of biblical usage, and here we have the Strong's definition. All right, again, comes from H1431 in the sense of twisting. Right, this shows you guys me twisting the tassels. Thread, i.e., a tassel or festoon, fringe, or wreath. Again, when we go back to the outline of biblical use, right, this phrase only appears twice, right? Twice, right? In Deuteronomy 22 and 12, and then I believe one in First Kings, if I'm not mistaken, either First Kings or First Chronicles. It's talking about the chapters, the columns on the temple, right? It says right here in the outline of biblical usage, twisted threads, tassels or festoons, tassels on clothing, festoons on capitals of columns, right? Very, very simple. Sister Abi, right? Sister Abi, you might just came into the chat, right? What you might want to do is rewind and watch from the beginning, because we're very aware that the word friend is an English word. Zitz is one of the words that's translated in your King James Bible as fringe. One of, right? So we looked here, right? Here's Numbers 15 and 30, 15:37 through 40, right? We have the word zit zitz, thawadath, right? Here's that Strong's word, right? Here's our people literally wearing them, going into exile, right? Here's archaeology, right? This one we're specifically told to put a ribbon of blue. And then here in Deuteronomy 22 and 12, there is a completely different Hebrew word, a completely different jot or tittle, right? Here in Deuteronomy 22 and 12, we're told to wear gdollium, right? We must live by not bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God, right? Did this proceed out of the mouth of God? You best believe it, right? Did Numbers 15 and 37 proceed out of the mouth of God? Yeah. And Yahweh speaking to Moses saying, right? These are Yahweh's words given to Moses to give to the children of Israel, right? There's two different words, right? So let's go back, right? So boom, we got the word gadol, right? It's a tassel when it's on clothing. It's a festoon on the columns, the capitals of columns. What is a capital? The top part of a column, right? You have like a column, or like a, what else they call them? Not a beam, a pillar, like a pillar. You have a pillar or a column. You know, if you go to, like, for instance, the Washington Monument, not the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial in DC, right? You see columns, right? When you go to, look at Greek and Roman architecture, right? You look at, like, for instance, I live in Philadelphia, right? City Hall, same architectural style. These are columns, right? And the capital is the top part of that column, right? So there were not embroidered, but festoons that were carved into those capitals or columns, specifically of the temple. Hebrew elevation. Stop. You're getting put in timeout, right? Let's time you out. You're not saying anything that I don't already know. There's only one word in Greek that you can translate the word these two words into. That doesn't mean anything. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop trying to teach in my chat. Thank you very much. Lord in Christ. Just simple niggas. Again, Septuagint. I don't care about the goddamn Greek Septuagint. Talking about we're Hebrew Israelites, and niggas gonna talk to me about Greek. What the hell are we talking about? Do you realize that there was a day of mourning that our people mourned the translation of our text into Greek because of how poorly it was translated and how you would lose meaning in translating it from Hebrew to Greek, a language of the heathen that is riddled with idolatry? Nigga want to talk to me about goddamn Greek? Get the hell out of here. Let's keep going. Right? So now, let's look into a couple of stories here, right? So here we are in Matthew chapter 9, all right? Starting from verse 19. It says, and Yahawashi arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment, right? The hem of his garment. Right now, when you dive into this word for him, it goes into that Greek word that this individual is talking about that goes back to what? Zit Zit and Gdollium. Okay? Either way, right? She saw Yahawashi coming. She had an issue of blood for 12 years. She came behind him and she touched the hem of his garment. For it says, verse 21, for she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. I shall be healed if I just touch his garment, the hem of his garment, right? Which is his fringe. Now, when we dive into the reason why we were told to wear fringes in the first place, it's because niggas were being disobedient, right? Niggas were being disobedient, right? And we look at the particular instance, right? We were in the wilderness. The Most High God was raining down manna every single day. And the Most High told us, hey, on the sixth day, gather twice as much. Gather twice as much on the sixth day. Because guess what? On the seventh day, the Sabbath, there won't be any. We're also told that, hey, if you lay any of it up, right, it's going to stink. It's going to rot. But guess what? On the Shabbat, it did not rot, right? It did not stink, right? So Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6 says, for without faith, it is impossible to please God, right? James 2 lets us know that faith without works is dead, right? And that our father Abraham, who's the father of the faith, that his faith was made perfect through his actions, right? So when we look at, us being told to wear fringes, right? Specifically Zit Zit, thawadath, right? Which are not these. These are not zitz. These are gdollium. These are zitz. We're told to do this after the nigga was being disobedient, right? Did not keep God's word, right? And we're told to do this so that it would remind us to keep the commandments, right? So this right here just goes to show that how the fact that Yahawashi, who is our King, our Savior, the man that put his life on the line for us, right? That a man that did not sin, who, as the scripture said, neither was God found in his mouth, right? He who left us an example, right? We should follow in his footsteps, right? And let's see what happens with the story. But Yahawashi turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. The woman was made whole from that hour, right? So she was healed because she had faith, right? That if she just touched the hem of his garment, his fringes, if she just touched his fringes, right, that she would be healed. And again, we cannot please God without being obedient and without having faith, right? So again, this demonstrates faith. I remember there was a video, shout out to my brother Einar from Now Pure Hearts, but when we were members of Sakari, right, he had an encounter. They had an encounter with a brother from GM Mess, right? From GM Mess, right? All right. Yahawaah Jackson. I'm not sure if you're being facetious or if you're being genuine, right? Let me know if you're being facetious, or let me know if you're being genuine. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I'm thinking you're being facetious, right? But I don't know. Yaquab Jackson, are you being facetious, or are you being genuine? Okay, you're being sincere. Okay, of course it wasn't a t-shirt, brother, right? You think your house was wearing t-shirts? No, right? Like, for instance, if you guys and I'll show it later, right? During Passover, right? Us here at the House of Bread, we, all praise to the Most High, we were able to secure a lamb, a male of the first year. Okay, we were able to separate him on the 10th day. We were able to pick him up on the eve of the 14th. We were able to slaughter him on the 14th, right? We were able to, of course, skin him, cook him, do everything, the way we're supposed to, right? We're able to put the blood on the doorpost, and there's a clip of me putting the blood on the doorpost, right? And you can see clips of me, getting the fire ready, caressing the lamb, just assuring him, he was, hey, everything's cool, don't worry, just relax, right? Just calming the lamb before we slaughter them, right? I was wearing a tunic style garment, right? A tunic style garment, something similar to what our ancestors would have wore, right? And it had fringes, the red and blue, and it had gdollium sewn onto the corners of each side, right? For gdollium, right? So that's what Yahawashi would have wore, something similar to that, right? So we're just looking at this example of, again, a woman, right, who is sick, right? And that's the problem. Our nation, we are sick, right? The reason why we're sick, the reason why we are still in captivity is because niggas refuse to keep God's commandments. Point blank, period. The reason why we went into captivity is because niggas won't keep God's commandments, and now we are in captivity, right? We are Hebrew Israelites, right? Niggas won't talk to me about the Greek, right? When we're talking about being Hebrew, right? And niggas don't want to keep the laws of God. Niggas want to give excuses. Oh, you can wear either or. No, did God say you can wear either or? No, he did not. Right? So again, we see this example of the sister, right? Her faith, right? Her just being able to touch his fringes, she was healed, right? All praise to the Most High, right? Let's look at another example, right? Both in the book of Matthew, one in Matthew 9. Here we are. What's this? 5 chapters later in Matthew 14. It says, and when they were gone over, they came into the land of Canarwath, right, or Gennesaret, right? And when the men of that place had knowledge of him, they sent out into all that country around about, and brought unto him all that were diseased. Right, Yahawashi's fame was noised about all throughout Judea, all throughout Galilee, all throughout the land of Israel. Right, because after we came back from exile, right, J-Dog, why would I address that? Why would I address that, right? And we're talking about a specific topic right now. Like, let's pay attention to the topic at hand, guys. Right? So anyway, right? They heard about how Yahawashi, right? How he's healing people, and they heard about how a woman just touched his fringes of his garment and was healed, right? Verse 36, it says, and besought him that they might only touch the hem of his garment, that they might only touch the hem of his garment, his fringes. And as many as touched were made perfectly whole. Those that touched the hem of his garment, touched his fringes, they were made perfectly whole. All praise to the Most High. All right. So now, 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3, it says, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. His commandments are not grievous. We are looking at two of the most simple, non-grievous, easiest laws to keep, right? That niggas want to make excuses for. Again, Yahawashi says, if you break the least commandments and you teach men so, ye shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven, right? The CSB says, for this is what love for God is, to keep his commands, and his commands are not a burden. It is not a burden. It is not a burden for you to put these on your clothes. Zitz with a ribbon of blue. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's not a burden or grievous. It's also not grievous for you to get some tassels. Again, you don't got to get them from me, right? There's a plethora of brothers and sisters that, you know what I mean, they make tassels, right? You see? This is not grievous. This is not hard, guys, right? Again, let's go back, right? Let's go back to the two different laws, right? Again, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Let's take a look at Numbers 15 and 38. It says, at verse 38, it says, speaking to the children of Israel, YAHAWAH, and bid them that they make them fringes in the border of their garments throughout their generations, not just on feast days, right? You got other people, right? Other idiots that say, oh, fringes don't belong on t-shirts. They belong on garments. As if a t-shirt, as if a button-up, as if even a undershirt, as if this is not a garment of clothing. A garment is just essentially a piece of clothing. Simple, but niggas want to play games. Niggas like to be cute. That's why niggas say, oh, you can wear either or. Niggas want to be in the clubs, throwing up gang signs and whatnot, right? Just with tassels on, because they think they're cute. No, nigga. The Most High God said, wear Zit Zit, thawadath throughout your generations and put upon it a ribbon of blue. All right, when your stupid ass was in the club, right? The gang, all that stuff, right? Guess what? You were a generation of an Israelite. The Most High God said, wear goddamn fringes. Not goddamn, because they're not damn. That your goddamn ass needs to put on fringes. Sister, time to bring out that sewing machine. Listen, sister, if you guys know how to sew, right? You know what I mean? Whip out them sewing machines, right? Listen, the first shirt I ever had that had fringes, right? The first set of fringes I got were a pair of tassels. I bought them joints off Etsy. They were white and blue cloth joints. Trash. They were horrible, right? But guess what? I got those because that's the quickest thing I can get. And then I ordered some fringes. I had ordered some fringes and some ribbon off Amazon. I even went on Facebook Marketplace and bought a sewing machine. Try to learn how to use it. I was able to fringe one shirt with the sewing machine. After that, I didn't know what the hell I did. I said, this is hard. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just buy fabric glue. And that's what I did for my next shirt. I got a shirt, right? I bought the fringes. I glued the ribbon on, and I glued it to the shirt. Bing, bing, boom. I had two shirts with fringes. So I was able to get some bread. You know what I mean? And I bought some already fringed shirts. I think it was from like Soul Royal or Soul Regal, I think is the name of the site. But that was, you know, that this is like this is over 6 years ago, right? You know what I mean? The fringes that I used to wear back then, you know what I mean, and my personal style now, of course, has changed, obviously. You know what I mean? And you know, that's the beautiful thing about, you know, being Israel, us being the salt of the earth, right? Us being, you know, the flavor, right? You know, what makes this this nation, you know, makes this world just an amazing place, right? You know what I mean? I have my own personal style, and you know, me personally, like, you know, you'll never see me wear a white shirt with gold fringes and a ribbon blue. You're not gonna see that, right? You're gonna see me put white fringes on white shirts. You're gonna see me put black fringes on black shirts, right? You're gonna see me, you know what I mean? If I got a red shirt, I'm gonna put red fringes. Now, if I got a shirt and I can't find a fringe to match it, right? What I do is I put the ribbon blue and I cut the fringe myself. Cut them myself, right? So again, here's one law, right? One jot, one tittle, that is different from this jot or this tittle, right? Again, two different Hebrew words. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. All right. So again, actually, boom. So now we know that it's not grievous. So I'm gonna dive into a video in just a second, right? So now let's look at 1 Peter 2 and verse 21. It says, "For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps." We need to follow the steps that Yahawashi left for us to follow. It says, "Who did no sin," right? What is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law, right? Shout out to the brother Muck Muck, the general. Hey man, listen, to each his own, right? That's how you that's your flavor. Listen, bro, do you, right? Do you, bro? You know what I mean? As long as you're wearing fringes, as long as you're wearing zitz and gdollium, there's no issue, right? Listen, I got a jacket, right? I got a suede a suede like biker jacket with fringes, and I got the bust down blue tassel ribbon along that joint, right? Just wait till I back that out in the fall. Just wait till I back that out. It's getting too warm right now, right? Just wait till I back that bad boy out in the fall, right? Again, do you know what I mean? You know, of course, keep the law of God, but add your own, your own flair, your own style to it, right? We don't all gotta dress alike, you know what I mean? But here we are back in 1 Peter 2 and 21. It says, we have to follow Yahawashi's steps, who did no sin. Again, what is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law. What is transgression? It means to cross the line, right? The line is Yahawah said, do this. If you don't do it, you've crossed the line, you have sinned, you have transgressed, right? If God says do A, B, C, and you don't do A, B, C, you are in sin. So if God says wear Zit Zit throughout your generations, and your excuses, oh, we got spiritual fringes. Oh, we only wear fringes during feast days. Oh, we wear fringes at camp. Oh, you can wear either or. Oh, then nigga, you're a sinner. Point blank period. You're a sinner. I'm gonna just say it. If you leave your home, right, willingly every single day, right, and you only wear one of the two, you are in sin. The sin is the transgression of the law. You've crossed that line. God said do A, B, C. You just did A. You're in sin. If God says don't do X, Y, Z, and you do X, Y, Z, you're in sin. You've transgressed. Right? Shout out to my wife. Right? Lord willing, HOB sisters will have a sewing tutorial coming out. Just got to make time to make it happen. All praise to the Most High. Right? Again, guys, we have this thing called YouTube, right? Guys, anything that I ever wanted to learn about, I looked it up. Right? I have a garden. You think I just learned how to garden just out of thin air? No, I had to look it up on YouTube. Listen, Cincinnati Yard, YouTube University, right? You niggas come to YouTube to watch Folly and Madness, right? I got the wrong banner going on right now. Boom. I mean, get your Hebrew Israelite Bible today, right? Link in the description, right? Use code PASAK14 for 14% off, right? Anything that I want to learn, right? Like, for instance, my wife wants me to change her shower head, right? Guess what? I know how to change a shower head because I learned a real life experience. But if I didn't know how to change a shower head, and I didn't want to pay someone to come do it for me, right? I will go on YouTube and figure it out, right? And so many times people ask me questions, and I'm like, my nigga, if you would have just read, and if you would have just Googled it, you would not waste my time asking me these questions. The simple things that you can easily find out on your own. Have a little bit of initiative, people, right? So again, back here in 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21, right? For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that we should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was God found in his mouth, who, when he was reviled not again, when he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him, who's YAHAWAH, that judgeth righteously, who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree. Yahawashi bore our sins on that cross, right? Being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes we are healed. We should be dead to sin. We should be dead to transgressing God's laws, and we should live unto righteousness. And what is our righteousness? Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25, right? I'm gonna pull it up in the HIB, right? Yeah, I just got some new tabs for this Bible right here, right? And for another Bible I just got. Oh, praise the most. I gotta put them on, right? So here we are, Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 24. It says, and YAHAWAH commanded us to do all these statutes, all, including Numbers 15, including Deuteronomy 22, right? It says, to fear YAHAWAH our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be, what's the it? Doing all the commandments, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before YAHAWAH our God, as he hath commanded us, right? So again, coming back here at 1 Peter chapter 2, and we are at verse 24, who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes we are healed. The same way that that woman and all those multitude of people who just touched his fringes were healed by touching his fringes, because he was obedient, because he followed every word that proceeded out of YAHAWAH's mouth, right? Him being the word of YAHAWAH himself, right? We need to follow his footsteps and be dead to sins. But you got people out here teaching you to sin. You're not going to get that from an HOB. You're not going to get that from me whatsoever. I am not going to teach people to break the least commandments. I'm sorry. Again, I was told to take down a video where when I dove into the difference between these two types of fringes, right? And the leaders said it's causing confusion. You know why it was causing confusion? Because guess what? Your soldiers, they're watching and seeing what I'm bringing out through the spirit, and they're looking at you and seeing that, oh, you don't always wear bow fringes. You're in the clubs. You got on just tassels, right? And not Zit Zit, right? Not fringes with a ribbon of blue. And they're questioning you, like, hey, like, what's up with this? And this is why niggas made me take down the video. Again, I'm not going to do it, right? I'm not that one, right? I'm not that guy. Listen, I don't know about you guys. I want to be called great in the kingdom of heaven. I do not want to be called least in the kingdom of heaven, like some people will be, right? Some people are going to hear, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. Good and faithful servant. You need to be faithful over what the Most High God commanded you to do, right? Faith without works is dead. You do not have proper faith, true faith, if you don't keep God's commandments. Point blank, period. Francis Harris, I have no clue what you're talking about. The quad, you understand it, right? Listen, they're both commandments, and you're supposed to live by them. Live by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Simple, right? So Let's go back here in 1 Peter 2 and verse 24. It says, who his own self bare our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, being dead to sins, that's the problem. Many of you guys are alive to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes were healed. For ye were as sheep going astray, going off the beaten path, right? Not following God, right? We're supposed to follow Yahawashi, the good shepherd, right? Not these evil shepherds, right? Not these evil leaders and these evil so-called elders in this community that have failed us, right? And this is why niggas are mad at me, right? I don't give a damn. I don't care about making you simple niggas mad. I don't care. I do not care what any evil nigga fucking thinks. Sorry, I don't care. Right? I'm gonna do what YAHAWAH and Yahawashi said do. Point blank, period. Right? So again, this goes back to I think maybe 2 or 3 lives ago, right? I brought out 1 Corinthians 11, right? Niggas love to go to 1 Corinthians 11:3, right? To prop themselves up like, oh, we're the men. Men are over women, which is true, right? But you know these niggas, right? You know these. Listen. There's a lot of niggas in Israel that hate women. They hate sisters, right? Absolutely hate sisters. I know a lot of these niggas, right? And they'll run to 1 Corinthians 11:3, right, to justify it, right? But they miss 1 Corinthians 11:1, which says, be a follower of me as I am a follower of Hamashiach. And the problem is, a lot of your leaders, a lot of your elders are not actual followers of Hamashiach. Don't follow those niggas. Point blank, period. All right. So, you know what I mean? Yahawashi, he's the good shepherd, and his sheep hear his voice, right? That's why there's not that many people watching this lesson right now, right? But people were tuned in yesterday, right? Because it was controversial. Right now, it's pure edification. Where these niggas at? Nowhere to be found, because niggas don't care about God's word. Point blank, period. Right? So again, for ye were sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls. That's Yahawashi. Yahawashi is the shepherd and the bishop of your souls, right? And he's not here right now, right? But he has servants on the earth, right, that are going to push and guide you in righteousness. They're not going to guide you into not following every word that proceeds by the mouth of God. A true servant, right? So listen, brothers who may have that understanding of that you can wear either or, right? I pray that you watch this and truly understand what has been broken down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because guess what? We have been lied to. And I want to let you guys know, right? Even though I was told to take that video down, right? Guess what? I still told people, listen, I would say the official Sakari says that you can wear either or. But me personally, me in my house, we wear both every single time, right? Because we want to live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. The fuck these niggas talking about, right? But let's move on, right? Again, Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Right? So boom. Let me pull up this video, right? And again, guys, I don't know how to sew, right? My wife knows how to sew. We have a sewing machine, right? You know, many of you guys are aware my wife is pregnant. True seeker, you didn't hear me say basham, right? I am not illiterate in Hebrew, right? You will never see the phrase basham anywhere in the scriptures. You will just see basham. So if you look at the top of my screen, it says called thawadath, laYAHAWAH, basham Yahawashi, right? Call means all, thawadath means praises, la means two, Yahweh is the name of the God of the Bible, right? When you see the word Lord in all caps, that's Yahweh, right? Basham, meaning in name, Yahawashi. The is implied, right? So it's call thawadath, laYAHAWAH, basham, Yahawashi. Not call haloyim, not call halal. Call thawadath, laYAHAWAH, basham, Yahawashi, not bahasham. So yeah, let's dive into this, right? So again, I don't know how to sew, right? My wife does, but my wife is pregnant, right? And she gets tired. So I don't, want her to be sewing fringes all day, right? She got a lot of other things that she got to worry about, right? So I recorded this video the other day. I was actually putting fringes on all of House of Bread's our first set of shirts, right? Over here, I was pressing some other shirts that we got. So yeah, I mean, we got a little factory going on here at the house of Ahrayahla, right? All praise to the Most High. So, all right, shalom, family. So let me get a one in the chat if you guys can hear, right? So let me make sure everyone can hear. One in the chat. I want to make sure you guys can hear. All praise to the Most High. Let's tap in. What we're doing is demonstrating how easy it is to put fringes on your clothing. Now, you guys have been taught by certain people here in this community that you can wear either type of fringe. You can wear the Zit Zit, which are these type of fringes, all right, or you can wear the tassels, which are called gdollium. Right? Get your gdollium from Ahrayahla here on Instagram. We got again, boom. Tap in with me, right? I'm gonna just put the link here in the chat, right? Follow Ahrayahla. Tap in with me, right? Get your finest bust down tassels. Look at these bad boys. Had to rock these yesterday. We rocked the House of Bread Fire Philly shirts, right? Right? Look at them bad boys, right? Looking like what? Straight fire, right? You know what I mean? Right. Shout out to my brother Ahrayahla, right? He actually makes tassels as well, prestigious pedigree on Instagram. He makes the regular tassels. Most of my tassels, I've actually pretty much every set of tassels that I've ever bought, right, with the exception of like maybe 3, I bought from this brother, right? So he makes fire tassels, right? He'll get you hooked up. You know what I mean? Had to throw on the bust downs to match the Philly, the HOB fire shirt. You know what I mean? Had the what's the faces on? What are these? The shattered backboards. Listen, I had to throw it together, man. Let us complete your camp fit or whatever fit you got. You know what I mean? With a fire set of bust down gdollium tassels, right? I mean, actually, I got to get y'all one of these. Hey, Shalom family. What y'all gotta do is y'all gotta get y'all one of these jewelry holders, man. Get you one of these jewelry holders. You got a ton of hooks on the front and the back. Right, got all my bust downs right here. All person most high tapping with us, Ahrayahla. Right. And then click the link to get the same exact jewelry holder. All person most high. Right, and here you see, boom, me twisting the gdollium, right? That's what the word means, right? So boom, right? There we go. So now let's get back here. Boom. So get your tassel with Ahrayahla, _Ahrayahla on Instagram. Thanks, right? We got the bust downs for you. All praise to the Most High. So I'm demonstrating how easy it is for you as a sister, as a brother, right, who doesn't know how to sew, to put fringes on your clothing, right? So me personally, I like to wear, if I have a white t-shirt, right, I want my fringes to be white. All right, so here we are working on our HOB House of Bread Fire Philly shirts, right? Shout out to my brother Tawash, right? Down there in Tampa, right? Hooked us up with these through the spirit, right? And as you see, I already got the fringes on the first part, the fringe with the ribbon of blue, right? So I'm gonna show you a real easy cheat code, right? Now, my first t-shirt that I ever put fringes on, this is when I was brand new in the truth, right? I did not own a sewing machine, did not know how to use a sewing machine. I do now own a sewing machine, don't know how to use it, my wife does, but I use fabric glue to glue on the fringes and to glue on my ribbon, right? So here I got my blue ribbon, ready to go. Got my fringes, okay? Now, here is something that I've discovered as of recent. You can get what's called fabric tape, double-sided fabric tape, right? This will be linked in the description, right, of the video, right? And you have two sizes. You have a 1/4 inch and then you have a 1/2 inch wide. So this is the 1/2 inch, this is the 1/4 inch, right? So there's two ways that you can do it, right? So right now I got the 1/2 inch on here, right? And what I'm going to do, right? And I did this on the other side. I put the 1/2 inch and I put my ribbon of blue on towards the top, and I laid my fringes right on the bottom of it. Now, what I will say is that when you wash these, typically the ends might come undone, but it's very easy to just put another piece of fabric tape it on, and you're good to go, right? You can then, yeah, to that point, right? Yesterday, right, we wore our HOB Philly Fire shirts, and we wore them last week, right? So what happened? I washed it, right? I washed my shirt, and when it came out of the washer, right, the ends came off. Right. So now what I would suggest, right, is that you also get some fabric glue. So you want to tape it down, right? Put the tape down. But if you put the fabric glue right towards the ends, if you don't know how to sew whatsoever, put the fabric glue on the ends, you should be fine. Hey, Dawad, I'm gonna put the links to everything in the description of the video once we're done, right? So I'm gonna put the link to the fringes that I use. I'm gonna put the link to the fabric glue, right, and to the fabric tape, right? So even if you do know how to sew, right, or let's say you're learning how to sew, right, if you use the fabric tape in conjunction with sewing, it makes it so much easier because you don't gotta worry about your fringes moving out of place. You have it all taped down, right, and you run it right through that sewing machine, bing, bang, boom, you're good to go, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description after the video. Now I'm gonna put we have a Amazon storefront, right? Because we have the Brew Kitchen page, right? Please use the link. Use the link because we get we get a little commission. Nothing comes out of your pocket, right? We get a little commission if you guys use our affiliate links, right? So I'm gonna have those links in the description so you guys can go ahead and purchase the fabric tape, fabric glue, and the fringes, right? Yeah, well, like I said, I'm gonna put it in the description, sis. I'm gonna put it in the description. I'll press the most side. So let's get back into it. Take this to, let's say you do this to all your shirts, right? You get all your shirts that you want to put fringes on, right? You take them out ready to rock and roll, and you can take them to your dry cleaner and ask them, hey, can you just sew this in place for me, right? And that shouldn't cost you too much money, right? Or just go on YouTube and learn how to sew, right? I'm not going to take out the time to learn how to sew myself, right? My wife knows how to sew. However, I can't have my wife doing all of these t-shirts for the entire house of bread because that's a lot of work for her, right? And she's pregnant. So what I'm demonstrating here, right, it's very easy, right? It's not hard to just take some fabric tape, right? You peel that off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fringe, right? And because I am upside down, this flip this. Flip this because I am right-handed. So I like to go from left to right. So I'll take my fringe. Right. I am going to cut this part off because it's we'll start fresh. Sharp scissors. Right now, I'm ready to go. The fringes, these fringes that I like to use, they come with this little ribbon right here to hold the fringe in place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line up. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to do my blue ribbon first. So I'm going to take my blue ribbon. Now, again, the reason why I'm putting the ribbon on first is because I'm using the 1/2 inch, the thicker tape. I'm using the 1/2 inch instead of the 1/4 inch. The 1/2 inch, line up the blue ribbon at the top, and then use the rest of that 1/2 inch tape to lay the fringe down. So that's the reason why. All right. And right, I'm going to line this up at the top part. And what I'm doing is, if you can see this stitch line, I'm lining this up to the top of the stitch line, as you can see. All right. Got it back here. So here we go. Boom, there we go. Now I can take my fringe and use the bottom half. Now you can also, right, you just use more tape if you do it this way. If you use the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch, which is a skinnier tape that comes in the set, right, what you can do is you can lay your fringe down, tape your fringe down, right, then tape your blue ribbon on top of the fringe. You can do that as well. And I've done that with some of the shirts, right? So now that this is set, take my scissors here. And real quick, just so what I started doing after I recorded this video, I started adding some tape on the inside portion. So like, boom, right here you have, well, I don't have the, so you have your split right here. You want to cut this shirt right here is sewed. My wife sewed this, right? But, you know, typically what you want to do is cut the hem, right? Cut that hem, right? So that, because when you put fringes on the bottom of the shirt, it gets real tight, right? So you want to get that hem. Now, another easy thing, another cheat code is buying split hem shirts. I've been trying to find some really, you know what I mean, nice, just all cotton split hem shirts. It's hard to find it. A lot of them is like that polyester mix and whatnot, which I try to stay away from polyester as much as possible, right? But what I do, right, is we have that split hem right here, right? What I like to do is take the tape, put some of the tape on the back side, and bring it around the entire perimeter, right? Go around that other split side, tape it, and then take your fringe and your ribbon of blue and start it from this side as well. Wrap it all the way around. That way, it's a little bit more secure. And then, like I said, what you can do is you can put that fabric glue to really set it if you don't know how to sew, right? So all the akim, you know what I mean? This is real. If I can do it, you can do it. All right. Very, very simple. Right? Very, very simple. And I'm going to. So that's I wasn't doing that on this shirt, right? But what I should have did was cut this a little further this way, right? Cut like around here, put that fabric tape on the other side and wrap that around and set that with the fabric glue, right? That's what I would suggest doing, you know, on your first time, so that when you wash it and it comes out of the washer, you shouldn't have an issue with it coming off the tape. You know what I mean? So remove this. Now this shirt is fringe. Like I said, when you wash this, it typically will go undone. Right, this will come off at the ends, but it's nothing to just add another piece of tape. Boom, take it back down. Bang, bang, boom. You're good to go. That simple to add fringes to your t-shirts. Now I'll give you another example. Right, I have this t-shirt. Right, so Latino-owned brand called Gente Fina, right? Which means fine people. La gente, like the people, fine people, right? We, the Israelites, are fine people. So this is like a stone color, right? And this particular shirt, I don't have fringes that match this, right? I don't have fringes that match this. So what I can do, Alexa, stop. Some shirts right now. So what I can do is I can use the fabric tape and tape right in this little border area with this stitch. Put the tape, put the bourbon and glue, and then what you can do is you can cut the fringes individually, right? It's not that hard, right? You can add whatever color fringe you want. You do it the way I just showed you, or you can do it in this manner. Very, very simple. If you don't want to use fabric tape, you can use fabric glue. Fabric glue is a little bit more messy. The fabric tape is an amazing cheat code, right? Nothing to it but to do it, right? So again, as we're showing in this lesson, right? These right here, these are zitz, right? These wing-like projections. That's the definition in the Hebrew, a wing-like projection. Notice how this looks like the wing of a bird, right? That's what the zitz are. These are zitz. These, on the other hand, these are not zitz. These are gdollium. This is Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 12. This is Numbers 15 and 38. These are zitz. These are gdollium. These are not zitz. Right? These are not, I repeat, these are not zitz. These are two different laws. Right? Two different jots and tittles. Right? Our King Hamashiach Yahawashi says, ye must live by every, not by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Right? God said we're Gadalyam. God said we're zitz. Guess what? You got to live by both of them. Shalom. All right. So there you have it. All right. There you have it. Yeah, so the truth seek says, how long does the tape last? The tape lasts on the shirt. First time I've heard of fabric tape or glue, right? So like I said, when you put the fabric tape on and you put your fringes in your ribbon blue, when you wash it, what's going to happen? It's tripping. There we go. This part at the end, it's going to come undone. It's going to peel off, right? Very simple. Just add another piece of tape and lay it right back down. Not that hard. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying what you should do, right? Having the fabric glue, using fabric glue just at the ends to really secure it down, you're gonna be good to go. Like for instance, if you go to my IG real quick, let's go back here. If you go to my IG, boom. I don't have any of the. I don't have it anymore, right? But y'all have seen, some of my advertising for the HIB. I'm wearing like a varsity jacket. Dang, where do I have that? Where do I have that varsity jacket? Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find. Give me a second. But that's a good question, brother. Right. Sister Shelly Burke, the YAHAWAH YAHAWAH shot for your super chat, sister. Appreciate your continuous support. No, my black one. Where's that? My all black one. It should be hanging up. Right. Actually, I'm working on something really, really popping. All praise to the Most High. I'll show you guys in a bit. Wow. So here's my varsity jacket, right? So I bought these patches, right, off Etsy, right, 1969, which is, very important prophetically, right? One West was found in 1969, right? This is when breath entered into our bodies, right? And we start to stand up as an exceeding great army, right? So here, this is a leather. This is leather, right? So what I did was I used a fabric glue to glue these on to the actual leather, right? Had to go to the dry cleaners, right? I got the Boom, got the Lion, got YAHAWAH. I bought this patch off Etsy as well. Had to go down to the dry cleaners and have them sew this on, right? Here's another patch I got right here. It has YAHAWAH's name on it with a lily, right? This is a iron-on patch, so this one was cool right on the wool, and this one's an iron-on patch too, right? Battle axe patch. See that I designed Yerumya, Mapata Yum, which means battle axe in Hebrew. Got YAHAWAH 5120. That all my battle axes and weapons of war, right? Guess what? This is a iron-on patch, but guess what? I had putting it on leather. I had to use the fabric glue, so this ain't going nowhere, right? Now I'm working on bringing these Hebrew characters, these Paleo Hebrew characters. This is the custom Paleo Hebrew font that I created for the HIB, right? So when you get your HIB, right, this font right here is used where you see YAHAWAH's name all throughout the text, right? I actually drew this on my iPad, right, and turned it into a font, right? So it's the same font, but I'm trying to turn these into, customizable patches. You can do whatever color. Right now, I'm working. I have a brother down in Tampa, right? He just texted me with some of my patches that I have for another jacket, right? But boom, this one right here. I mean, you got the Hebrew characters, right? They'll be able to be ironed on, so you can iron on to whatever jacket you want. You can put on a jean jacket, a varsity jacket, what have you, right? Waiting for my HOB patch. You know what I mean? Of course, I had to take the old patch off this bad boy. Right, wait for that HOB patch. Bing, bang, boom. Throw that on there. You know what I mean? And we're gonna be in business. But obviously, it's a little too warm. Won't be able to wear the varsities too much longer. But you never know how this weather going to change. Yeah, bro. The glue is more permanent, right? The glue is way better. Let me see something real quick. Give me a second. Huh. But yeah, it lasts pretty long. Like I said, if you use the fabric tape alone, it's going to it'll unravel after you wash it. But like I said, it's just super easy to add another piece of tape and tape it right back down. Right? If you secure it with that fabric glue, you're good to go. J Dove says, you have to start a Ahrayahla Israeli fashion page. You have great ideas, King. Hey, all person most I might, I might do that, you know what I mean? But in the meantime, right, talking about fashion, right, make sure you guys, follow my page here, Perpetual War Apparel. You know what I mean? So you got different heat. You know what I mean? Bro got the EDK on, took the sleeves off. You know what I mean, this is my partner right here, brother Ahrayahla here from House of Bread. You know what I mean? He's the brother who has Prestigious Way. Actually, boom. Prestigious Way Designs. Right here, these are his tassels. Right. He got some bust down jewels to put on his joints. These, yo, listen, I'm not it's correct, but I want these. These right here are tough. Right? So bro is cold with it, you know what I mean? Absolutely cold with it. So he makes these type of tassels, right? Tons of heat. You know what I mean? Look at those charms and those gems on them joints. So, you know what I mean? Bro can get you right. You know what I mean? Get you, bro. This right here go perfect with a Bucks jersey. It's so funny because a brother that I'm doing this bulk order for, right? Brother ordered 11 sets, and he did a purple set, he did a silver set, he did a green set, and I was looking at them all laid out next to each other. I said, "Yo, those would be fire for a Bucks jersey." But look at these Jones right here, just absolute fire. I mean, boom. Listen, we know how to do it. So tap in with bro. I mean, bro is not cold with this fashion stuff. Look at that, bro. That's just tough. Look at that. Fuck the Eagles. I'm a disgruntled Giants fan. Yeah, I mean, like these bad boys right here go perfect with these. Right? Go perfect with these. You know what I mean? Listen, man. Listen, whatever you need, man. We can get you right. House of Bread, we know how to get you right. You know what I mean? In terms of the fashion. Look at that. Bro cold with it, man. I mean, so bro got all types of flavors. Listen, whatever you need, bro can get you right. You know what I mean? I can get you right here, boom, with the bust down joints. Like boom. I did so this right here, this is a pair that I sold. A brother had asked for. Right, we got the iridescent with the baby blue. You know what I mean, go perfect with the joints, with the UNC 5s. Right, here's the two different. Here's the inverse. You know what I mean, oh, praise to the Most High. Boom. Listen, got the emerald joints, the emerald with the silver, right, to match perfectly with the kicks, right, to match perfectly with the kicks. Where them joints are? They right here. I mean, couldn't go with the gold. Had to do the silver for this one just to complete. You know what I mean? The fit. Like I'm a stickler for, you know what I mean, things being particular. You know what I mean? Like if I'm wearing, like when I used to wear suits and ties and shit like that, right? If I had on brown shoes, best believe I had a brown belt that matched. Right? If my belt buckle was silver, I wasn't wearing a gold watch. I was gonna wear a silver watch. You know what I mean? If I had a gold watch, best believe my belt buckle had to be gold. I mean, or brass. So this is how I get down. You know what I mean? In terms of, fashion. Look how we threw that together, bro. Look how we threw that together. Yeah, bro had the hat. You know what I mean? Bro made the custom hats. The hat that I was wearing yesterday, bro got that made for me. So tapping with bro with the custom hats. We got Perpetual War as well. Actually, let me go back to Perpetual War. Boom, we got Perpetual War. I mean, you got the Mawaf Laba Ball shirts. Right here, I'm rocking the white Mawaf Laba Ball shirt. Boom. Waf Laba Ball, Depths of Babylon. Right? Got the Fear YAHAWAH joint. We got this joint, Hagawah, YAHAWAH, the highest nation or the supreme nation, Israel overall. Boom, got the Deuteronomy 76 on the back. Right? Me and my wife, we went to the what fight was this? This was Javon Boots Ennis versus, what was the boy that he fought? It wasn't Chuka John. I think it was a guy. It was 2 fights ago. No, 3 fights ago. Went to that fight here in Philly. Boom. Had the Fear YAHAWAH joint. You know what I mean? got the denim from my brother. What's the face? Oh, he changed the name. It's Divine Denim now, right? The brother from WFI Detroit, the brother Shamar, right? Brother's fire with the jeans. I mean, got the custom jeans, got the custom skirts for sisters, and had to throw in the what do they call these? These are the not the Jubilees. These are the I forget exactly what they call these. The new Concords, that they're not the Concords. These are the defining moment. Not that's the DMP. These are basically the newer DMPs. I mean, had to throw them Johns on. I mean, had to throw in the pause hat, got the Prophet Yahawashi shirt from Perpetual War. Listen, bro. Listen, we gotta keep the law and stay drippy doing it, right? All praise to the Most High. So tap in with us here at Perpetual War Apparel. All right. Perpetual War Apparel on Instagram. Boom. Right. Tapping with us here. Gdollium, Ahrayahla. Right. Got heat. Actually, dang, I ain't. Let me see. Let me find a pic real quick. Boom. I'm gonna show y'all some joints. Sisters, we got y'all covered as well, right? We got y'all covered too, sisters. We got a bunch of new colors. We got orange. We got 2 types of pink. We got hot pink, regular pink. We got like 3 types of purples now. We got lilac, lavender, and royal purple. The emerald green joints go crazy. We got like a charcoal gray color. We got the silver. We got the iridescent. Wait, boom, let me show y'all a couple of joints. Show y'all a couple of joints real quick so y'all can see. Listen, we can get you right. You know what I mean? Like if you have something in mind, like like an outfit you have in mind, something that you boom, boom. So let me show y'all this. Boom. Move. Open. Watch this, family. Boom. Present. Oh, yeah. Go to the share screen. Windows. Boom. So where we at? Bob. Right. So I got this hoodie, right? This hoodie, if y'all don't know, I'm from Brooklyn, right? So look at that joint. Got the pink New York joints on them, right? Purple. So I had to freak it out, right? So of course I'm gonna put it together with these bad boys, right? Put it together with these Salehi Bembury New Balances, right? Listen, whatever you need, like we can get you right. Get you right here at Ahrayahla, right? Watch this. Boom. Another one. Check this out. All right. So sisters, we got you covered, right? We got the light pink joints, right? We got the hot pink joints. Like I said, we got tons of new colors. We got lilac. We got royal purple. We got lavender. All right. Anyone got any questions? Any questions? Oh, Prince of the Most High. My brother Nicholas Jacob, the Waterway Yabaraki Haba Shem Yahshai for your super chat king. Speaking of this now, you ever read Mark's Velosh, a race from Elder Bivens, seeing as how you got the 1969? No, I never read the book. I have it. I never read it. Nazar, if you're talking about the brother, what's bro name? Damar, it's Divine Denim. I'll pull it up for you. I'll plug my brother. He working on a jacket for me right now. You know what I mean, he working on a jacket for me right now. Can't wait to get that joint. Divine, boom, Divine.denim. Right, so bro cold with it, man. Bro real cold with it. I mean, he got these joints. Boom, he got the jean jacket. Hit him with a little what they call it. They call it a Canadian tuxedo. You know what I mean? Bro can get y'all right. Now, just so y'all know, bro does all this stuff by hand. So it can take some time. You know what I mean? He got this joint tough. Super tough. Right? He does all this by hand, guys. Right, so it take bro some time to get your orders out, and he do the dresses, not the dresses, the skirts for sisters, right? You got sis with the pink joint. I mean, bro, get you right, man. Come on, sisters. Now, what I will say is, we here at HOB, we don't teach that sisters have to wear skirts or dresses, right? But he will only make skirts for sisters. Shout out to Sister Kai. You know what I mean? Got her right. All praise to the Most High. Right. I think the brother Kabosh from WFI, he makes these Jew Gang joints. I actually got the T-shirt. Got the white joint. Got the Jew Gang. That joint tough. Right. So yeah, tap in with bro. It used to be called Kingdom Cloth, but he now calls it Divine Denim. Right. So bro cold with it. You know what I mean, bro super cold with it. Bro can get you right with the jorts. You know what I mean? Jorts are back in style. You know what I mean? So it's happening with my brother Shamar, man. It's happening with bro. All praise to the Most High. J Dubs, what link you asking for, King? I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. All praise to the Most High, sis. Nah, Nazar, those aren't the DMPs. They're the ones that came out recently. They're the reimagined joints. The DMP pack is expensive as all hell, man. I ain't got bread for the DMP pack. Con. All praise to the Most High. Oh, man. So, yeah, family. Any questions? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Shamar, stay tuned. I'm actually working on a lesson that will incorporate that. So stay tuned in, right? Stay tuned in, right? Like I told you, man. See, there's a narrative being pushed that somehow I'm not focused, on feeding the sheep and teaching the Bible, right? Here we are, right? Ain't nothing changed. I go out, we hold camp twice a week here in House of Bread Philly, right? We have been holding 2 camps a week, right? Thursdays and Saturdays since my first year in the truth. So, ain't nothing changed, right? Still out on the highways and byways. Some silly nigga in the comments said, "Oh, why don't you go teach in the hood?" I teach in the hood every week. What are we talking about, right? Meanwhile, you on the keyboards banging your fingers, right? So, there's that. But yeah, tap in, bro. Work on a lesson on that topic. It said, did the Israelites enter into the covenant after they had all the commandments? Exodus 20 to Deuteronomy, or before they received the bulk of the commandments. We entered the covenant before we received. I believe we received the commandments, all throughout our time in the wilderness, right? Now, for instance, we didn't get the commandment about wearing Zit Zit fringes, right? Which are not these. These are not zits. These are zits, right? We got this commandment after. You know what I mean? We got the so-called 10 commandments and whatnot. So they were revealed to us over time. It's required for a sister to join a house of bread if a sister lives in another state. Yeah. So Sister Chantel, actually, what I'm gonna do, actually, what's our email? I'm gonna have you send us an email. So people have asked if you are a brother, right, and you're interested in joining House of Bread and joining the front lines of pushing this work. I mean, definitely, you can tap in with us. There is a form. Give me a second. Right, make sure you guys follow House of Bread Camp. House of Bread Camp with underscores between each word on Instagram. Right, I'm gonna put the link here in the chat. This is also, guys. This is also being simulcasted from the House of Bread channel. If I'm not mistaken, it should be. Yep, this is being simulcasted from the House of Bread channel as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to House of Bread, because as we move forward, as we continue to grow, looking to really make this channel certain content. Most of my street teachings and stuff, other officers and Shariam's street teachings will be on the House of Bread channel. We're going to be working on doing a lot of having a priest. We have a really just beyond his age, beyond his years, a very wise priest here in Philly, priest YAHAWAH, which is Hilkiah in the Bible. So Hilkiah is actually the father of Jeremiah, but Shah Khan YAHAWAH here, he's going to be doing Torah portions and doing more lessons on the law and truly understanding the law. That's going to be on the House of Bread channel. And like I said, we're going to do a lot more heavy edification on that channel as well. But we need y'all to subscribe, right? If you subscribe to this channel, right, you should be subscribed to House of Bread, right? Just House of Bread. So let me get the email really quickly, sis. Actually, what's our email? I'm logged in. I'm tripping. Gmail. Yeah, our email is House of Bread Camp, right? House of Bread Camp at gmail.com. So let me put that in the chat. House of Bread Camp at gmail.com. So right now, just so you guys know, we are working on our prospect process. So for any brothers that want to join House of Bread, right, and do the labor, right now I'm dropping the link. This is a Google form, so fill out that form so that we can get in contact with you once we go ahead and complete our entire prospect process. Sister Datia, someone did ask me to do a lesson on the names of Yahawah and YAHAWAH. Brother Ray send all praise to the Most High. Jamaica XD, I see a question. How do I feel about? Why would I be jealous of a nigga like that? Let's just be real. It's asinine. You see, one thing that a narcissist is going to do, they got to put themselves in the center of everything, right? And 2025 is the exposing of narcissists in this community, right? So how do I feel about him stating that? He's, of course, he would say that, right? So no, there's no way to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, tap in with us on Perpetual War, right? Again, I'm gonna have the links to to the materials that I use. Because again, when I order a shirt, like for instance, I had to order this, right? I had to order this, right? You can get yours too at Perpetual War Apparel. You know what I mean, on Instagram. Click the link in our bio. It's an issue with our domain, but it's getting verified right now. It will be perpetualwar.shop, right? When I get them, they don't have fringes on them. So, of course, I got to put fringes on them. And this was the point of this lesson, to demonstrate the difference between the two types of fringes and how we have to wear both, right? And also demonstrate how easy and how ungrievous and unburdensome it is to easily just put fringes on your clothing. So kind of praise to the most. I'm just getting caught up with the Son of Simeon, what link are you looking for, King? Hey sis, all praise to the most. We all gotta get, retaught. And the cool thing about the law is that we're supposed to recite the laws. We're supposed to teach them to our children. One thing that I remember when I was in school, when I was in school, I learned that when you teach something, as you teach it, you're teaching yourself as well, right? So, we're supposed to teach them to our children. We're supposed to speak about the laws, right? Recite the laws, like meditate on the laws day and night, right? And then we'll have good success. A lot of us don't meditate on the law. My favorite psalm is Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, right? And then his law doth he meditate day and night, right? Love that, right? That's what we got to meditate on, right? Not Mahatma Gandhi, right? Not goddamn sitting, crisscross applesauce and freaking humming and oming, right? That's not meditation, right? So all praise to the Most High, sis. Sis, that's DM me on IG. Oh yeah, just so anyone, and I said this before, anyone that has received a name from you know who, right? A Hebrew name from you know who, right? Reach out to me on IG, get with me, and I'll help you come up with a new name, right? I'll help you get a new name, right? We all praise to the Most High. The priest anointed me here in Philly, and renamed every brother in Philly that have received the name from you know who, right? We're gonna call him Voldemort, right? He that shall remain nameless. I just went over. This is nothing but the truth, and I found it started teaching my congregation. All praise to the Most High, brother. Weapons of War, OKC, right? You see that? Listen, bro. I came up with this breakdown probably about damn near 5 years ago myself, right? Through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, and I was told to take it down because it was so-called causing confusion. Let that sink in. Listen, Jamaica. Listen, you like here's the thing, right? You knowing that this is the truth, right? What someone else does shouldn't have a bearing on you understanding and knowing that this is the truth, right? The truth that we are the Israelites, the truth that Yahawashi is the truth, the way, and the life, the truth that the law of God is the truth, right? You knowing that you're an Israelite, you keeping the commandments, the law, and you keeping faith in Yahawashi HaMashiach, right? Which is part of the law, right? You should just do that because it's the right thing to do, not because another man or anything like that. But I understand where you're coming from, bro. All praise the Most High. Right. So again, if anyone wants to, any sister wants to join, get down with House of Bread, join the House of Bread, House of Bread at House of Bread Camp at gmail.com. Email us, right? Any brothers that want to join House of Bread, right? You can fill out this intake form. What I'm going to have to do is create an intake form for sisters, right, to join the sisterhood. You know, and you are not, you are the friend. Lex, what the hell are you talking about? Put this person in timeout. This is just stupid. Just stupidity. Absolute stupid. How are we the fringe? God told us to wear fringes, not that we're the fringe. Genius. What the hell are you talking about? Niggas gotta stop saying stupid stuff. All praise to the Most High, Sister Naziyar, right? But yeah, family. With that, I want to give all praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High God, whose name is YAHAWAH. Of course, I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, who the world anyone called Jesus Christ. Again, I pray you, brothers and sisters, were edified. Right? Remember, right? We have to live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, and not by bread alone. Right? We have to wear Zit Zit thawadath, and we have to wear gdollium. Right? So keep the laws of God and live. Shalom.